talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propagation's swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Amadaya production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propagation's swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propagation's swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all almost caught me jamming, honey. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Amadaya-Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Amadaya-Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, let's get into it, honey. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have some breaking news. All right, we're going to get into it in just a second. Hit the like button. Please be sure to like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, don't forget to double check and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel if you have not been getting your notifications, because sometimes people mysteriously become unsubscribed. With that being said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before we get into it. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay? I feel like the Munchkins on The Wizard of Oz. Remember when they were singing so cheerfully and gleefully? Let the joyous news be spread. The wicked old witch at last is dead. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? I will bet you that a certain someone whose name I shan't mention as well as Nasty Grace, are crying in the car right about now. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. And shout out to OG Patrice for giving me this salacious news and details, because I was about to talk about some other things, which I'm still going to talk about. But I had no idea that Bigfoot, as I affectionately call her, is gone. Fired, y'all. What y'all got to say about that? I absolutely cannot. This is what I call instant karma, okay? Because she was a whole racist as far as I'm concerned. That's what she is. Now let's get into it, because I have the receipts. It's all been verified and confirmed. Manhattan prosecutor who handled Diddy's case and the Epstein case files is fired. Maurene Comey, who is the daughter of the former FBI director James Comey, worked on the criminal cases against Jeffrey Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell and Diddy. Now, Maurene Comey, a Manhattan federal prosecutor, was fired on Wednesday, okay, according to 4 people with knowledge of the matter. Now, the reason for Ms. Comey's firing was not initially clear. Her dismissal immediately raised questions, given her involvement in cases that have roiled the White House in recent days, as well as the fact that her father is the former FBI director, James Comey, who was also fired by President Donald Trump during his first term. Now, a spokesman for the Southern District of New York declined to comment. They want to keep it on the hush hush. They don't want to talk about this. But let's talk about it, shall we? Now, the White House press office did not immediately respond to a request for comment, including about whether it had asked the Justice Department to fire Ms. Comey. Mr. Trump has in recent days claimed, without evidence, that files related to Mr. Epstein's crimes were concocted by Mr. Comey, as well as by former presidents Joseph R. Biden and Barack Obama. I want y'all to pay attention. Trump knows he needs to sit down somewhere gaslighting. He literally blamed it on the Biden administration and Barack Obama, saying that they concocted these files and made it all up. Trump, we're not buying it, okay? We're not buying it. Now, why doesn't he want us to know about that Epstein list and the files and all of that? Okay, I have several questions, but let me continue. I don't want to get off track. Okay, Ms. Comey was given a letter informing her of her termination. 3 of the people with knowledge of the matter said. Now, 2 said that the letter said that Ms. Comey was being fired under Article 2 of the Constitution, which describes the powers granted to the president. Now, in case you don't know about Article 2, don't worry, I'll give you a summary of it, okay? First of all, here's what Article 2 says about federal prosecutors. Okay, first of all, it talks about presidential power to appoint them, and that's in Section 2, Clause 2, mind you. Now, the president shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint all other officers of the United States. Now, U.S. attorneys, federal prosecutors, that is, are considered officers of the United States. They are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. They serve under the Attorney General, who is also appointed under Article 2's authority. Okay, now Article 2 vests all executive power in the president. The Department of Justice, or the DOJ, including U.S. attorneys, is part of the executive branch. Therefore, federal prosecutors carry out the president's constitutional duty to take care of the laws and that be faithfully executed. And that's in Article 2, Section 3. Okay, so the removal of power. Let's talk about it. Because federal prosecutors are executive officers, the president can remove them at will, which is what it sounds like. This is exactly what Trump did. This is why prosecutors can be fired for political or administrative reasons. It's allowed under Article 2. Okay? Now, I find it all interesting. The president and the extension, or by extension, the DOJ, they can hire them, oversee them, and they can also fire them. Now, so did Donald Trump just go ahead and fire her, or did he have the DOJ do it? Now, their authority to prosecute federal crimes comes from this executive power to enforce the law. Is that right? Y'all heard that? Now, here's what I'm thinking. Because I told you all. Mama Joycelyn said, why fire her now? Why fire her now? Clearly, because of Diddy's trial. Okay, let's get into it. Because I told you all. See, some of y'all don't be listening. Hold on, when the queen is cooking. Some of y'all don't be listening when the queen is cooking, but I'm going to play this TikTok that I did about a month or so ago when I told y'all something along the lines about President Trump and Maurene and Diddy. Let's get into it in case y'all forgot. Here it is. I'm going to share my screen. Honey, I am jumping for joy. I don't care why Trump fired her. All I know is I'm glad that she's gone. All right? Queen Shakur. Now listen, 47 has admitted that he's actually entertaining the idea of possibly giving Sean Diddy Combs a pardon. Now, months ago, when people were saying this, I thought it was absolutely crazy. I didn't think it would happen. And I, in fact, told them, listen, I know they used to be friends back in the day, but Diddy came out and said some things about 47 that I know he hasn't forgotten. And I know that he's one to absolutely hold a grudge, and he likes to get revenge on those who dare to cross him. So I didn't think it would happen. But then as it got closer to Diddy's trial, I started thinking, if there is a reason that he would give Sean Diddy Combs a pardon, well, that would likely be for one reason specifically. And that reason, in my opinion, is James Comey, the former director of the FBI. Now, I know you're probably wondering, what does James Comey, the former director of the FBI, have to do with 47, possibly giving Diddy a pardon? Well, let's talk about that. You see, first of all, 47 and he don't get along. 47 actually fired him. He also criticized him in 2016 about his handling of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. And then again in 2017 about the FBI's handling of the possible Russian interference in the U.S.'s 2016 election, which was related to allegations of possible collusion and 47's campaign. Now, and then just about 2 weeks ago, there was a message that Comey posted to his Instagram and then deleted it, which was a message written in the sand with seashells. And it said 8647. Now, we all know what 47 stands for. 86, that basically means get rid of or remove. So, of course, 47 didn't like that. And in fact, he and his team currently have Comey under investigation because they took that as a threat. Please pay attention. Now, I know you're probably thinking at this point, well, that all makes sense, but what does it have to do with Diddy possibly getting a pardon? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, out of the 6 prosecutors that are trying to convict Diddy of the RICO, one of them is none other than Maurene Comey. And who exactly is Maurene Comey? Well, that is James Comey's daughter. Okay, James Comey's daughter. Now, this is 47's arch rival. So this is somebody that he doesn't get along with, has had problems with in the past, and currently has under investigation. Okay, so please pay attention. With that being said, Maurene Comey and her team have worked so relentlessly to secure this conviction. And think about the implications of it. Now, if they win this case, this would be big for her career. All of them, because this is literally the trial of the century. Okay, it is very high profile, and we all know that people who work in DA's office, they usually tend to have political aspirations and ambitions. So, with that all being said, just think about her winning this case, big moments of her career, and then 47 just comes around the back door and snatches the thrill of victory right out of her grasp. Okay. Yeah, I think that's absolutely why he's entertaining the idea. And if Diddy is convicted, I think that 47 will absolutely give him that pardon just because he doesn't want Comey to win and he doesn't want Comey's daughter to win. Now, this is just my opinion. I could be absolutely wrong, but then again, I could be absolutely right. Please drop a comment and let me know what you think. All right, there y'all heard it. Remember, you heard it here first. Now, I told you all. And didn't I tell you all days ago she was going to be fired? I want y'all to pay attention. Y'all heard it here first. My intuitiveness is always 100%. Okay? Please pay attention. Yes, I call her ass Bigfoot. Okay? I saw her in the restroom at the trial, and she was tall. She was tall like the Jolly Green Giant as far as I'm concerned, with flats on. All right? And she had big feet. She had big feet is all I'm saying, okay? Winter said, hey, Queen, you are on it. Very intelligent insight. Thank you, beloved. Well, y'all know I'm prophetic. Okay, y'all know I have dreams that come true, honey. I predicted many things. Don't forget the video that I did right after New Year's Eve when I told you all my predictions for this year. Okay, so with that all being said, honey, she is out of here. All right, she is out of here. And I find it all so interesting and clearly nefarious. Trump is petty as hell. Now, y'all know Trump did it, and y'all know why he did it. Okay? It had everything to do, I'm sure, with Diddy's trial. Now, they can sit here and act like it had something to do with Epstein, and maybe it did with that too. But definitely, I already knew Trump was not going to let her have the thrill of victory. Okay? He was not going to have it. At the end of the day, I find it all so juicy and salacious, don't y'all? Ooh, honey, I bet somebody is crying in the car. Wonder if they'll go back on Nancy Grace, or shall I say Nasty Grace, and tell some more lies that we're trying to kill them and that we're going to do them like Diddy did Cassie. I wonder if they're going to add some more lies to the mix. Okay, please pay attention. And speaking of lies, let me just clarify something here, because there is another lie that they're going around telling now. You know, my job is to debunk lies wherever they roam. Okay, so with that being said, this person is saying that Diddy, with these 2 Mann Act convictions, it's going to drive him to bankruptcy. First of all, bankruptcy is something that you voluntarily file yourself. Okay, nobody drives you to do it. Nobody forces your hand. You file bankruptcy because you want to, because you may have, be trying to keep certain assets and you have a lot of debt and people coming after you. But here's the thing, in some cases, if you are convicted of the Mann Act, they absolutely can take some of your possessions. But that is only if they can prove that the money you acquired during violating the Mann Act came from, or basically the money that you acquired as if you were receiving money for violating the Mann Act. Well, then they can say that all of the things that you have came from ill-gotten gains. That's not the case with Diddy, because Diddy was a John. Okay, Diddy was the one spending money for these prostitutes. He was paying. He wasn't trafficking people, or he wasn't selling out prostitutes and making a profit from it. So therefore, his assets should be safe. Okay, there's no reason for them to come after him for civil asset forfeiture, which is another reason why they hit him with the RICO, because they knew if he was convicted on the RICO, then they could just snatch up all of his possessions, okay, because of civil asset forfeiture. And that's what they wanted to do. But the big money grab scheme that the 6-pack of Karens had against Diddy failed miserably. Okay, and now the head one is fired. I absolutely love it. Don't y'all? Don't y'all just love it? Because I absolutely do. This is what I call karma. Okay, that woman sat up there in that courtroom and lied on Diddy to the jurors' faces, allowed in prosecutorial, engaged in prosecutorial misconduct. Okay, by having people get up there and lie on the stand. Okay, perjurous testimony is what she allowed in, and then let's not forget how she tried to use that video as a weapon against Diddy, hoping that no one would care about the real facts or the evidence or the truthful and honest testimony, that they would only look at that video and paint Diddy as a monster and say, you know what, he did it. Let's just send him to prison for life. For life. I want y'all to really think about that. For life. Whether you like Diddy or not, do you really think Diddy deserves a life sentence? Please make it all make sense. Okay? Please make it all make sense. And if you missed the video that I did this morning about the 3 brothers, the Alexander brothers, who are way worse than Diddy, okay, according to the accusations and the superseded indictment, and they even have been accused of doing heinous things to a minor. Okay, so if you missed that video, please go back and watch it, because I don't hear anybody really talking about that, because everybody's been dragging Diddy. But they didn't drag those people, did they? Those 3 brothers, those wealthy 3 Caucasian men, all right, who've been doing this, according to reports, for at least a whole decade. And they were making profits. Okay, yeah, they absolutely. But here's the thing. Interestingly enough, they did not actually charge them with a RICO. Why didn't they charge them with a RICO? Because they don't want to take their money and their personal assets. That's why. Okay, please pay attention, because they're being charged, or they were indicted in the same district as Diddy, the Southern District of New York, and no RICO for them, with 60 victims that have come forward. I find it all interesting, don't y'all? But let's continue. Now, Ms. Comey was given a letter about her termination. Okay, so she was a prosecutor in the criminal case against Mr. Epstein, the disgraced financier who hanged himself in 2019. Now, we all know Jeffrey Epstein probably didn't even do anything to himself, but let me continue, before he could go to trial. And she was on the team. And here's how y'all know Jeffrey Epstein didn't take his own self out. Why would you take yourself out before going to trial? Wouldn't you at least want to wait and see if you were convicted? Maybe you could get off. Maybe they could cast a reasonable doubt. Who knows? So why would you do it prior to the trial? See, that never made any sense to me. Quite frankly, I think they took that man out, okay, or smuggled him up out of the jail and took him over to Israel. That's just my opinion. Okay, so anyway, who hanged himself in 2019 before he could go to trial. And she was on the team that prosecuted Miss Maxwell, Mr. Epstein's one-time girlfriend, who was convicted of S trafficking in 2021. Miss Comey was also a prosecutor on the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, the hip-hop mogul known as Diddy, who was acquitted of the most serious charges against him earlier this month. Ooh, honey, this is all so juicy. This is all so juicy. OG Patrice said Epstein's brother said the same thing, Queen. Yes, he absolutely did. Okay, he absolutely did. Said that his brother wouldn't have taken himself out. Panther Strike says, I would have to climb a ladder to read that letter of termination. My eyes would have been bugging. You are so nefarious. And so anyway, let's talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes. Okay, enough gloating now that Maurene has been fired. Hold on, let me just sit here. Y'all mind if I just marinate on this for a second? I know it's low down and dirty to some of y'all, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's a joyous occasion. All right, so let's get some fire emojis in the chat and let's have a little jazz for a second. Okay, while I sip my tea, because honey, I'm thrilled. How about y'all? I am absolutely thrilled. Hold on. All right, I just couldn't resist. I just can't stop grinning from ear to ear. And the main reason that my smile is so big, and I'm showing all 32, is because I know that Megyn Kelly, Ashley Banfield, Nasty Grace, and this little liar who calls herself Nancy Drew are all crying in the cars right now. Woo, honey, are they mad or are they mad? Mama just said, Queen, you are something else. I know, right? I absolutely am. I must admit, thank you, beloved. Measure Man says fired on her day off. I love how they keep calling how they keep calling her Nancy Disgrace reporter, so she can't distance herself from these lawsuits. Exactly. Imagine being a failed psychic tarot reader, blogger, and makeup journalist. Pick a struggle. Method Man, you are so nefarious, okay? You are absolutely right, though. No lies detected, okay? Yes, she is forever linked to Nasty Grace. I mean, didn't the caption say Nasty Grace reporter threatened because she wouldn't apologize to Diddy? Isn't that the lie that they both told? They should be sued. They should absolutely be sued. Thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved, and your insight into the topic. Peace, love, and blessings. I just think it's a joyous day. Now, let's talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes, honey, because Bishop T.D. Jakes did an interview, and he said them bots did it, honey. He didn't have nothing to do with no freak-offs, and he wasn't even there but for anything other than his ministry, and said that the bots were sent at him, I guess by his enemies. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. But here's the funny thing, though. You know, now that we all have gone through the trial, and we pretty much know that the freak-offs were only relegated to Diddy and his girlfriends. So, in fact, Bishop T.D. Jakes was not at the freak-offs. Now, he may have been to one or two of the white parties or whatever. But, you know, due to all of the salacious reports that were coming out and a lot of people just telling lies and stuff or clickbait and all that, we actually thought that the freak-offs were happening at the regular parties after hours. Turns out that wasn't even the case. Okay? Just goes to show you can't believe everything you hear.
Right. So, but this stuff goes viral. So they went viral on Oprah. It went viral on him. People trying to get clickbait, playing around, trying to get clicks so they can get paid, so they can become relevant. And what he's saying and what I'm saying is knock that off. There's no time for all that stuff. And it's interesting how black people often increasingly are attacking black people. I said it, right? You got a whole bunch of black celebrities, about 10 of them, that have been attacked by other black celebrities. We got enough problems.
And might I jump in and say this? when that first broke out, it was 44,000 bots that were released on me. And for people who read, Swoops, who does the investigation for NBC and other news outlets, discovered that 98% of them were all artificial intelligence generated. The other thing that it really proved to me, to Oprah, to Denzel, to all the people, it's everybody. It's everybody. Anybody. It goes along with the turf. Is that we have got to stop getting our information on TikTok. Right. You know, that's a good place to start.
Right. By the way, there is an FBI website. You can just go there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's kind of water under the bridge. If there were anything there, the FBI would have been in it. Everybody would have been in it.
I just wanted to say it.
There's no hiding it. It's like when I had my health scare. Within seconds, it was all over the world. Yeah. You wouldn't have to find it on Instagram. You wouldn't have to find it on YouTube. You would find it in the 6 o'clock news. You would find it everywhere. Much to my surprise, actually, when I had my health scare, how far it went.
Because the world, that was the world reminding you what was really important.
Yes.
That actually you're appreciated and loved by people that really matter. By the way, interesting when we had that conversation, when you had the conversation with Oprah, one, I make the point because if they're going to attack Oprah, they'll attack, I mean, the frequency is so low, if you're going to go after Oprah, you go after anybody. So number one. And two, she wasn't aware that you'd been attacked because she don't watch low frequency stuff. No. She was completely stunned.
All right. So I'm going to stop it right there. Y'all hear that? Bishop T.D. Jakes said it was 44,000 bots that came at him, honey, trying to take him down in a whole online smear campaign. You know, that likely was the case. There's a lot of these bot channels, these AI channels, where they just say all kinds of lies and information. But at least the people who run those channels, at least they have sense enough to use AI and not show their faces. Why would you be so stupid as to sit up here and tell all these darn lies, you know, and just make up stuff blatantly out of thin air on people and then show your face? All right. And think that people are going to still continue to deem you as credible. Honey, your credibility is gone down the drain. Okay. Little Miss Nancy Drew, or shall I say Little Miss Nasty Drew, along with Miss Nasty Grace. Now, with that all being said, yep, she's gone. But let's talk about Trump. First of all, let me read this article first. Then I'm going to go to him literally saying that it was Obama and Biden that did it. Pressure. Hold on. Let me pause this. So, you know, Trump does not want to talk about those Epstein files, y'all. Under pressure from MAGA supporters, President Donald Trump on Tuesday said Attorney General Pam Bondi should release whatever she thinks is credible on the Epstein case. Okay, Trump, speaking to reporters as he left the White House, said he received a very quick briefing on the Justice Department and the FBI review of the Epstein files. The briefing took place before the release of the DOJ and the FBI memo last week. Now, the review found no evidence the deceased financier kept a client list of associates and no further charges are expected. The department also released hours of footage as part of its review, which officials say further confirmed Epstein died by suicide with an S while in custody in his jail cell in Manhattan in 2019. I'm not buying it. ABC News' Catherine Faulders asked the president what Bondi told him about the review specifically. Did she tell you at all that your name appeared on those files? Ooh, honey, let's just go to the footage at this point. Let's just go to the good part. Okay, like the song says, let's skip to the good part. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. There goes Odd Negroes Officials. All right. Here we go.
Of the files, Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing. Yeah.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, And I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
Review of the file. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's...
Sorry, you guys. I let that play again because I was trying to pull up something real quick. Trump needs to sit down somewhere. Now, he's going to sit there and say that Obama and them, is that what he said, y'all? Obama and them made it all up. First of all, who's making up files? That's for number one. Okay, who is making up files? Is this why we're not finding out about the Epstein files, Trump? Is this why? But listen, in all seriousness, let me say this. I do recall, and I've shown you all this video before. I'm not going to dig for it now, but I do recall, honestly, if I'm just being fair, that the prosecutor, it was the guy who was going after Epstein. Okay, he did say that Donald Trump was one of the few people that cooperated, said that he would help him do anything or help him in any way that he could. Okay, I don't know if he was lying, but that's exactly what he said. I showed you all video. Okay, but for some reason, Trump doesn't want that stuff out there. All right, please pay attention. I don't know exactly what that reason is, but he sure doesn't want to seem to have it out there. Okay, now with that also being said, I want y'all to pay attention to this because I thought this was all crazy. Do you all know that El Chapo's son is cooperating with the feds? Did y'all know that? How many of you all knew that? The El Chapo's son is out here turning on his whole family just to get his time cut. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Once in the chat if y'all heard about it. Twos, if not, let's get into it because I thought this was all so low down and nefarious. He made all the money he could, honey, being a whole cartel, okay, a drug lord, and now he's going to snitch on his own family? Whatever happened to death before dishonor? Mexico set to be torn apart as El Chapo's son prepares to tell U.S. prosecutors everything he knows. Ooh, honey, you can't trust anybody these days. Please pay attention. All right, one of the world's most notorious drug cartel leaders could very well destabilize the Mexican government as he plans to reveal all that he knows about corrupt officials. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's son, Ovidio Guzman Lopez, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of drug conspiracy and 2 counts of knowingly engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise before a federal judge in Chicago just last Friday. The 35-year-old jailed boss who oversaw the Sinaloa cartel's Los Chapitos fraction agreed to cooperate with prosecutors who have accused him of distributing drugs and running a criminal enterprise. New York and Illinois federal prosecutors allege that Guzman Lopez and his 3 brothers assumed control of the Sinaloa cartel once El Chapo was arrested in Mexico in 2016. And then extradited in 2019 to the United States, where he is serving a life sentence at a Colorado super maximum security prison. Now, the indictments indicated that the transnational drug trafficking organization made hundreds of millions by shipping, producing, and trafficking fentanyl to the United States. What about the CIA and all the stuff they were doing over there in Afghanistan? I have several questions. They should have been locked up too and given life sentences, the ones who participated in it. Okay, but let me continue. The indictments indicated that the transnational, okay, I read that part. Now, Guzman Lopez's mea culpa could very well be or open a Pandora's box into the Sinaloa cartel's dealings with former and current law enforcement and government officials back home in Mexico. His high-profile attorney, Jeffrey Littman, slammed the Mexican government while talking to reporters after leaving the courtroom, saying it's not so much of a surprise that somehow for 40 years, the Mexican government, Mexican law enforcement, did nothing to capture who was probably the biggest drug dealer, perhaps in the history of the world, he said. He said it's no surprise. Now, Lichtman was referring to Ishmael El Mayo Zambada, who co-founded the cartel with El Chapo and had never been arrested until El Chapo's also jailed son, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, set him up and flew him across the border to Texas, where he turned himself in, and El Mayo was captured. Isn't that something? So what I would say to President Sheinbaum is perhaps she should look to her predecessors in the president's office and try to figure out why that even happened. Why there was never any effort to arrest the famous criminal lawyer. Why there was never any effort to arrest the famous criminal lawyer says. I don't even know if Zambada has been charged in Mexico. Now, in an X post on Friday night, Lichtman appeared to take another swipe at Sheinbaum for reportedly shielding criminal organizations. See, I find this interesting because you know why? Because doesn't the United States engage in such behavior? Don't they do certain things like this? I mean, they may not do the exact thing, but you know, we all remember the Iran-Contra scam. We remember that, right? We remember Oliver North's testimony, do we not? Yeah. And we also remember that very famous journalist, Gary Webb, who was found dead with a bullet to the head. And they said he did it to himself. Interestingly enough, it was after he started exposing the United States government. Did he really take himself out? I don't think so. Because last I checked, how do you shoot yourself in the head twice? Okay, somebody make it that makes sense. But anyway, let me continue. So anyway, goes on to say that apparently the president of Mexico is displeased with my truthful comments about her corrupt office and government, Lichtman says. She can call as many hastily convened press conferences as she likes, but the people of Mexico and myself know that she acts more as the public relations arm of a drug trafficking organization than as the honest leader of the Mexican people that they deserve. I'll have more to say on this shortly. Oh, honey, he went in, did he not? Now, the war of words spilled over to Tuesday when Sheinbaum filed a defamation lawsuit against Lichtman. I'm not going to establish a dialogue with a lawyer for a narco trafficker. This is what Sheinbaum said during a press conference. Well, I find it all interesting. But let me continue. Measure Man says, everything you done to me, you already done to yourself. Seeley. Okay, aka Comey. I know that's right, beloved. Absolutely. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, El Chapo's two other sons, Ivan Archivaldo and Jesus Alfredo Guzman, who are both wanted by the United States government, have hired Lichtman, who has over 3 decades of experience as a lawyer. Retired Drug Enforcement Administration agent and Chief of Operations Ray Donovan told the DailyMail.com that Ovidio's and Jaquan's cooperation could allow for the Mexican government to reorganize itself. He's snitching on everybody. I mean, singing like a whole canary. I think with the potential that Ovidio, Jaquan, and others provide information on corrupt politicians and corrupt officials, it is an opportunity for Mexico to reset, and Sheinbaum is the president to do that, says Donovan, who took down El Chapo. So you can look at it like this is very good, very bad for her party, or you can look at it as if I'm in control now. We want to be strong partners, and we want to take Mexico forward, not backwards, he says. This is an opportunity for her to do that. Now, the actions she has taken, I think, have been substantial, and clearly she is very astute. She's different from other presidents. Now, the good news about Claudia Sheinbaum, besides the fact that she is highly intelligent, I think that the corruption piece that often surrounds politicians, she doesn't have that. So this is an opportunity to really take Mexico forward under her leadership and partnership with the United States, regardless of its charges were to come out against politicians. She's taking concrete action forward, and I think it's going to be great. I see her as a really influential leader in the Western Hemisphere. It's not a bad thing. So Ovidio Guzman Lopez's decision to accept responsibility for his wrongdoing in court last Friday came just 2 months after 17 family members, including his mother, sister, wife, and children, were met by U.S. federal agents at San Ysidro port of entry in San Diego and brought across the border. Y'all hear that? His mother, sister, wife, and children. The fact that his brother was able to lure El Mayo made cooperating with the U.S. government easier. It was smart for the Chapitos to pull him in because now he's got a bargaining chip, says Donovan. They got some leverage. They got something to negotiate with. Telling on everybody. Well, let's just not forget, while they're calling out these politicians, we have a whole lot of shady and shisty and nefarious and criminal-minded politicians in the United States too. Okay? It's always interesting when we see our government going after these people, but they have the same type of people working in our government. That's just a fact. Okay? That is just a fact. So what do you all think about it? What do you all think about it, beloveds? And I want you all to see this video before I roll out of here. Okay. Sierra said he told on all of them. Yes, his own family. Okay. Wife, kids, everybody. Mother, sister. He didn't care, honey. He told on everybody. Okay. Because he's got to get up out of there. He wants to get his time cut. He don't care about any of the rest of them, apparently. Okay. I mean, there is no honor amongst thieves. Please pay attention. So that's right. DJ Big Six said nobody's safe. Okay. Now here's a video that I want you all to see, and you all give me your thoughts on it, because this man by the name of Paul Pierce, now I don't know who he is exactly. Is he somebody famous? I don't know. But what he says is that Black men should follow French Montana when it comes to dating. The state's women don't have the same values as women overseas. Let's get into it because I find this all interesting. Okay, Leon said, where's the loyalty? I know that's right, honey. I'm glad I got my loyal royals, honey. Y'all wouldn't rat me out to the feds, would you? Low down dirty devils. I bet y'all would, honey. Okay, for a 2-piece snack. Please pay attention. I don't trust any of you royals. Okay, you're all nefarious. Let's get into it. Okay, now I want y'all to hear what this fool is saying. Okay, he's acting like all the women in the U.S. are just 304s. Please pay attention.
Black men, I'm telling y'all, we need to follow in French Montana steps. You see, he cracking.
He's cracking.
He's like, man, I'm out here with these. No, I'm good.
Don't listen to Paul. There's women in the States that are cool and a vibe.
Nah, it ain't. The States women, they don't have the same values as these women overseas. They value they men. They priority is they men first. They not shaking ass on Instagram every
Not
day.
every woman is doing that, Paul.
That's American women. That's the majority.
No, not every woman is doing that though. I'm not doing that. So
there's more women in America doing that than out the country.
I can agree, but they're out the country. Women are getting paid $25 to have sex with anybody. Colombia, go there, Brazil. So please kill it because I know. And y'all want to glorify these out the country women. These out the country women, you give them $30 and they're sucking you and all your homeboys in one night. So stop trying to glorify that. I'm sick of it. Anyways, yeah.
I mean, only difference between there and here is the prices up over here.
Yeah, well, don't try to say their values are so different than not shaking ass. No, they are. They're doing it. And they're getting shitted on, shaking ass, and all type of stuff. Yeah. Listen, so don't try it.
Man, I ain't trying nothing, but I'm just saying, like, right now, if you ain't taking a girl shopping, if you ain't got no bread, if you it's almost impossible to get a girl out here. Us Black men, I'm telling you.
I absolutely cannot. Here's the thing. Now I want you all to pay attention. Now he says that if you're not taking a woman shopping, you're not getting a girl out here. Well, you know, that's probably, okay. Jay Marie said he was a ball player. Okay, I never heard of him, beloved. So thank you for that. But here's the thing. He's saying that these women want you to take them shopping. Well, sir, that's the kind of women that you're choosing. You see, what you can't do is blame all the women for your bad choices. There are a lot of women who are self-sufficient, who have good jobs and careers, who are college educated, okay, who are Black excellence, no less, at the end of the day. So if you don't have one, then you should get you one, boo-boo. And stop trying to act like all these women are just out here trying to grab bags. Because some of us have our own bags, boo. And that's just how it goes. Okay? That's just how it goes. I mean, I find it all so interesting, don't y'all? Hold on. And speaking of that, let me shout out my friend who just got her next degree. Hold on. Hold on. Let me shout out my friend, Luciana. All right. She's Black Excellence. Honey, people need to sit down somewhere sometimes. That's what he needs to do.
Thank you, God, for keeping her. Thank you, God, for the days when she didn't think she would make it, but you sent a fresh wind. Thank you, God, that her best days are still ahead of her. Thank you, God, that the betrayal didn't break her. Thank you, God, that she cried, but she got up the next morning. Thank you, God, that weeping really did just endure for the night. I thank you, God, for joy coming back to that woman. I thank you, God, for peace coming back to that woman. I thank you, God, for... Thank you, God, for keeping her.
All right, he needs to sit down somewhere, honey. That's my friend of 20 years, at least 20 years. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention, honey. Black excellence out here in these streets. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, all of my friends are Black excellence, boo-boo. They're not out here twerking on tables, okay? They're not out here doing any of that. Now, they might have did it when they was a little younger, but I'm just saying, all right? They might have did it to pay for college, but at the end of the day, they're Black excellence, and that's just the fact. All right, so he needs to sit down somewhere, and here's the thing. The lady was absolutely correct, okay? Oh, and by the way, let me just plug Luciana, because you all know that I used to show her advertisement on my channel. She sells scrubs, okay? She has her own brand of scrubs. It's called Beautiful Hearts Apparel, okay? You can find her on Instagram and also on her website, okay? Check her out. But back to what I was saying. You know, I have to agree with the lady who was telling him that some of these overseas women, honey, they be doing anything for a small piece of change. And that's because of the poverty in the places where they dwell, okay? Let's not forget about the video that I did about the Gambia back in 2020. Okay, where I talked about how these Western men go over there seeking the little people. Okay, y'all know who I'm talking about. Okay, the little ones. They go over there seeking them, and sometimes the parents will allow them to do these things because they are so desperate. They can't afford clothing, shoes for their people, their children. They can't afford food sometimes. Okay, so there's a whole lot of these debaucherous things that go on over there in these other countries, and a lot of these women over in Brazil and other places. Okay, the Philippines, okay, Cambodia. A lot of these women do things because they just don't have, you know, a viable way to get money. They're just poor and struggling. And so he's talking about they praise their men. Well, they're going to praise anybody who can give them a plate of food and put a roof over their head, sir. Okay, doesn't mean that they have more values than we do, sir. All right, so please sit down somewhere. I mean, he sounds ridiculous. Listen. If you want to date outside of your race or you want to date women from another country, go ahead and do so. But don't try to disparage other women in the process. Then use that for your excuse to gaslight and deflect. Okay, don't do that. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Because I find it interesting how these men love to try to talk down on women, specifically Black women, where they want to go outside of their race and things of that nature. They want to act like, oh, they have bad attitudes. Oh, they're all after the money. Well, you know, some of them are after the money. Maybe if you stop looking in the strip clubs, maybe if you stop trying to find women on OnlyFans, maybe if you stop trying to seek out Instagram models, and Instagram's not even a modeling agency, so make that make sense, sir. Maybe if you looked to people who were educated and intellectual and self-sufficient as the people you choose to date or you go to the dating pool to look for, maybe you wouldn't have these problems. But I digress. Okay, I digress. So that all being said, let me get out of here. Andrea said the universal truth is being spoken. Okay. Thank you, beloved. Alice said his mentality is limited. Exactly. Okay. Panther Strike said Pierce is a Becky chaser. He just might be. But at the end of the day, all the women in the United States, okay, collectively, no matter what race or ethnicity they belong to, they're not any worse than the women in those other countries overseas, sir. All right? I just want to make that clear. Now, with that all being said, listen, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. I will see you all bright and early in the morning. Okay, well, wait a second. What's today? What is today? Is today Thursday? Hold on. Today's Wednesday. Okay, yeah. So I will see you all in the morning. I have something to do on Friday morning. So I might start my show around midday or something like that. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, so everybody, remember, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got